All right. Thank you, everybody. This is a long time coming. We are so excited. Little background. So if you are looking for the webinar about PrimalPro on the Practice Better platform, you are in the right place. Woo! So look, we launched PrimalPro, as many of you know, grudgingly a while ago, so that those of you that were giving us the feedback of, I just don't have the time, Laura. I just don't have the time to build my signature program in a way that I would feel confident in it being built in order to start taking clients. We fixed it. We put out PrimalPro. As you know, it's completely customizable. As you know, it's yours once it's yours. It's licensed, it's yours. You don't have to give us any credit, but it's completely done. And for the most part, turnkey. There are a couple of steps kind of once you get it loaded to personalize it. I'm going to let Brittany take that. But for a while, we just had it on one platform. Now we have it on two, and we picked Practice Better because, quite frankly, that's what you wanted. So that's awesome, right? The feedback that we got from our graduates was that if this was on Practice Better, I'd buy it. So it's on Practice Better. It's finally done. So I have Brittany here. Brittany is with Practice Better, and she did a big chunk of the work, to be completely honest, in terms of getting this uploaded in their platform. And I know we're going to get a lot of questions about how this is different from Coach Catalyst. We'll address that a little bit, but really the bulk of this is not so much to compare and contrast the two. That's not what we're here for. We're here to showcase Practice Better and how PrimalPro works on Practice Better. Fair enough. I'm going to keep my eyes on the chat and the Q&A, but I want to introduce everyone to Brittany. Brittany, go ahead, introduce yourself. Let everyone know kind of what you do at Practice Better.
Yeah, thanks so much for having me. I'm really excited to bring this PrimalPro to you through Practice Better. So nice to have these templates that allow you to kind of just plug it and go from there. So my name is Brittany. My title at Practice Better is Ambassador Program Manager, and I work with our different partners like Primal Health and just support them in their communities. And oftentimes that looks like these webinars and showcasing how you can utilize Practice Better and have it be a tool that really allows you to grow and scale your business and allow you to do what you do and love what you do without, burning out and staying focused on the reason why you got started. So that's a big part of what I do here. And I'm really excited to show you what we've built today, working together, and how you can easily get that up and running in your account. And while we're doing that, also talk a little bit about Practice Better and all that it can do for those of you that are maybe new to the platform and still learning about it. I apologize in advance because there is quite the storm above me. Zoom is usually pretty good at filtering out background noise, but if there's any loud banging and whatnot, where I live in Calgary in Canada, we are known to have crazy hailstorms that get to golf ball size. So if all of a sudden there's a lot of noise, that might be what it is. I just got an alert for a tornado warning to my phone, so hopefully I don't lose power or anything. But let's continue on and hope that nothing like that happens. I'm going to share my screen so that we can jump right into the platform and kind of do this together. All right, give me 1 second here to do just that. All right. So I am sharing my screen now, and you can see the Practice Better homepage. So for those of you that are new to Practice Better, we are a practice management software for health and wellness professionals. So our roots are kind of in nutrition, a platform to support nutritionists in their work, running their business, seeing their clients, coaching, supporting their clients, kind of all different facets of the business. And we have in the years expanded into all different types of designations and professionals. So health coaches, functional medicine is a big one for us, nurse practitioners, nutritionists, dietitians, naturopathic doctors, kind of the full gamut of professionals now working on this platform. So the capabilities and the robustness of it, we're kind of just scratching the surface today, but I hope it will give you a taste of all that is possible and the potential of what we are doing here. So of course, we're kind of targeted today to speaking about programs on Practice Better, specifically PrimalPro. So I'm going to walk you through how you can add that to your account super easy, how you can get started with that, and some of the kind of the functionalities that exist around running a program in Practice Better. So I'm in the homepage here. A lot of the navigation is going to happen through my practice here at the top. So I'm going to go down to my programs. So Practice Better offers the ability to run a program or a course or any kind of iteration of that right within the software here. So this is kind of like replacing, say like the Thinkific or the Kajabi or Teachable platforms like that, that you're not having to kind of separate where you're doing your work and how you're facilitating work with clients, paying 2 extra bills, that kind of idea. So you can do that all within Practice Better. And we have set this up to be really easy for you to add PrimalPro. So I'm going to show you here in the bottom right-hand corner, we have something called the red fast action button. So this is kind of a good place to start when you're learning the platform, because it's always going to have the main functionalities for any given page that you're on. So when I click this here, I can see that I've got a few different options, all the different styles of programs, and we'll go over that in just a second. But we also have this really amazingly handy create from template button. So I'm going to click this, and this is a step that you can follow along to, because this is totally available to you. So we have created a customized code with you to add this program that we've built into your account. So this will be shared if it hasn't already. So I can just type that in there and hit next. And you can see we've got all of this content, all of this curriculum that you can bring into your account, you know, instantly start using with clients, customize it if you feel the need to do that, but it's all there for you. So I'm going to show you here at the top that you've got these 3 different options. So when you're creating a program from scratch, or when you're adding a program via template into your Practice Better account, you've got 3 different styles of programs within Practice Better. And I just want to highlight the differences for you so you know kind of exactly what's what. So at the top here, you can see fixed date. Fixed date, the way that we define that in Practice Better is think about running a program based on calendar dates. So you can imagine if you're running a program September 1st to September 30th, you'd be running this 30-day program where you've got one hard calendar date as your launch date, and then all of your modules or lessons are released based on calendar dates. So this is really ideal if you want to have one cohort go through where they're all going to be at the same milestone. They're all starting at the same time. They're all having the next modules or lessons released at the same time. That's where you'd want to focus if that sort of style appeals to you. The next one that we have is an evergreen program. So this is a little bit different in that you can still stagger the delivery of the modules, but this is more based on time elapsed. So we can have a 30-day program that anybody starts at any time, and the modules or lessons are released based on time elapsed. So a new module every day, a new module every week, and it's based on when somebody first signs up. So that's your evergreen program. And the third is self-paced program. So this is another option that allows people to sign up at any point in time. So you don't have to have that one calendar date that you're, working towards that launch for. And the way that clients will work through this program is based on marking a module as complete. So they'll get access to the next module once they've marked the previous one as complete. So if you want to give a little bit more autonomy and you want to allow people to go at their own pace, that's an option for you here. Based on PrimalPro and how it's set up, this is like a really sequential build of all these daily habits. So my recommendation is either fixed date or evergreen based on how you want to deliver this program, whether it's all at once based on those calendar dates, that would be your fixed date program, or you could steer towards an evergreen program if this is something that you're looking to have enrollment kind of ongoing and rolling. Self-paced, you just might get the person who wants to like fly through everything and they're not actually taking the time to build those sustainable habits, but totally up to you and completely customizable. So let's go ahead and add this program into our account. So it might just take a second here to copy that program over, and we'll get a little notification in our dashboard here once we see that has been added. So you can see here that I've now got the opportunity to view this. So this is exactly how it will go in your account too. So I now have all of this added into my account. This is everything that has been built for you. So those daily lessons or modules for the full 12 weeks. And once this has been added to your account, you have the full capability to edit and customize to make sure that this is working for you and how you actually want to run your business or your practice. So we can go into the edit program section here, and I'm going to point out a few things that you might want to pay attention to when you're adding this program into your account. So first and foremost, you can see I've got this kind of image at the back here. We have some stock imagery that you can choose from, but you could also hop into a program like Canva or Photoshop and create your own. So if you wanted to have this kind of brand identity to this program that you're going to be marketing, selling, and running clients through, you can absolutely do that. So you would just, create that image and then upload it through your computer. So this is just something that the clients will see when they're enrolling. And again, it can be really cohesive with your existing branding. So it feels very much like a part of your business. You can customize the title. So of course, we've got the title here, 12-week coaching program V104. If you want this to be something that's more geared towards, again, your brand, your marketing, what you want to put out to your clients, you can do that.
Hey, Brittany, real quick, I got a couple questions.
Sure.
Jen Winkler is asking, which plan is the evergreen? Also, which plan is the self-paced? Because there's multiple levels of plans that people can buy, and the evergreen option is not available. I know that on all of them. I'm not sure about the self-paced.
Yeah, so if you want to have access to all 3 different program types in Practice Better, so the fixed date, evergreen, and self-paced, you'd want to be on a plus plan or higher. So we have 5 different tiers of plans on Practice Better. Programs become available on the Pro plan, but you'd want to upgrade to the Plus in order to have access to the evergreen and self-paced. Also available on team plans if you work with multiple practitioners or have an admin assistant, that kind of idea.
Thank you.
Yeah, absolutely. So all that you're seeing here is completely customizable. You can add your descriptions. If you want to start talking about the benefits and the transformation that your clients are going to experience by going through your program here, absolutely add that in. You can see that you have all different kind of formatting tools. One that I really like to point out to people is that you have this video embed option. So you can make this feel really personal and really high touch point by recording a video, uploading it to either YouTube or Vimeo, and actually embedding it right into the description of your program. So that way, when people are going through that enrollment process, they can hear right from you and get that real kind of personal connection to you and what you do and the value that you're providing them. So that's an option for you as well. You'll have your duration. So one thing that I want to note about the duration is this duration is referring to the duration that new content will be delivered to your client. So once that 3 months is up, clients will still have access to all that content should you choose for them to do so. So by default, they'll still remain in that program and have access to everything that you've shared with them. But this is just the window of time that I can have new modules be released. If you wanted to sell it where people are removed after that 3 months, there's settings in order to do that. But know that by default, people will continue to have access to that content beyond this 3-month window. Payment options. So this is one that you get to decide, what you're going to charge for your clients to access a program as robust as this. So in Practice Better, we have different styles of payment methods. Fixed fee refers to a lump sum payment, or you could break it down into a payment plan with like monthly installments if you have like a higher ticket price point. And then we also have what's called ongoing payments. So probably not a fit for the program that we're looking at today, but you can think of this for future reference as like a membership style offering. So like your gym pass or your Netflix subscription, this is like an ongoing monthly installment payment ongoing. So for this, I would recommend you look at fixed fee and setting that lump sum. And then you have the option of breaking that down into a payment plan just to make it a little bit more accessible for people as well. So you can add your fee in there, make sure that your currency properly reflects where you are. Of course, I'm in Canada, so that's why mine says Canadian dollar. You can absolutely change that to where you're located. All right. The other thing that I want to mention is Practice Better allows you to bill, invoice, collect payment all within the software here. So in order to do that, if you'd like to collect payment at the time of enrollment of your program, rather than chasing people down with an invoice or having to run, your payment processor separately than your program, you can absolutely do that. It just requires an integration with either Square or Stripe. So you can integrate those directly into your Practice Better account, and then they can add in their card information and pay for the program or that first installment payment when they're enrolling. So it makes it really seamless for you as the practitioner that you're not having to chase people or find ways to connect two different pieces of technology. All right, lots of different kind of customization options that you can play around with, not necessary when you're first getting going. So one thing that I'm very aware of is when you're first learning a software like this, there's a lot to take in, so many different options. So know that you can kind of keep things fairly simple. And as you feel more comfortable with Practice Better, you can start to really play around with some of these more fun settings that have a lot of possibilities and potential with them. So something like a redirect URL. Once somebody enrolls in your program, maybe you want to direct them to your email newsletter through a lead magnet, or you want to put them to your social media or a blog post. So you've got these ways to kind of really tailor the experience that your client is having when they're registering for this program. Next, you'll see allow my clients to register for this program. So if you intend on marketing this program out to, say, your email newsletter, your social media, your existing clients, whoever that might be, and you want to give them the ability to enroll with the client or into the program, make that payment, etc., you might want to toggle over to this option, which means that this service is now public. So you can share this via a link, anywhere that you can share a link, and then people can kind of read through, learn about your program, and take those necessary steps to sign up. Some practitioners like to structure it in a way where maybe they're having like a call, a discovery call, or a call to make sure that the client is a fit for the program. And they want to kind of manually register their client on the spot to get that level of commitment in that moment where the client's really excited and has that buy-in. So in that instance, maybe you want to kind of do this option where only you as a practitioner is registering. So it really comes down to your individual workflow, whether you want to market the program and just kind of put it out there and let people find it online, register, sign up, or if you want to have like an introductory call, kind of like that application process for your program, just to make sure that you have like a really targeted fit for it.
Okay, we had another question here about payments. Heather's asking, is there a way to reimburse a client as needed through Practice Better?
Yeah, absolutely. So if you needed to refund a client, you can also facilitate that through Practice Better. So for, if you had a terms and condition with your program where they could try it for a week and, get their money back if they weren't satisfied kind of situation, you can absolutely issue refunds through Practice Better. The last thing that I'll show you on this page here is the welcome email. So this is something that you'll see throughout the program setup is we have ways to automate the communication that goes out to your clients. So we can check this box and it will show us that, there's a really basic email that goes out to the client once they're enrolled, but you have the ability to fully customize this message and make it feel like it's really coming from you and feels very personal for the client. We've used what's called placeholders in Practice Better. So you can see here the sections here that are within the percentage signs. And this is going to populate with the specific information. So the client's first name, the program name, the description, so that it does feel very tailored without you having to like manually customize every single one to the client. Still feels really personal and high touch point. So that's an option for you to have that communication automated. And one of the many ways that Practice Better works to really reduce the administrative time that it takes running your business. So it's a big core philosophy here at Practice Better that we want you to focus on the client work and the work that really excites you and the reason why you got started in this industry, rather than getting bogged down by like sending a welcoming email or an appointment confirmation or manually issuing an invoice, things of that sort. So lots of different examples and ways that you can make that happen throughout Practice Better. All right, just going to touch on the advanced options with the setup of the program so you see what you have here. One thing to note is that another big part of our platform is the ability to really work with your clients very closely, whether that's a one-on-one client or with groups of clients, in the ways that you can coach and support them. So there's plenty of different opportunities in how you can do that. And as the top here of my screen here, you can see that we have the group chat for the program. So a lot of times we see people filtering people over to like Facebook or somewhere to have that feel of community and support amongst their peers and the other program participants. You can actually do that right within Practice Better so that you can have things like a daily question for the program participants where they're engaging with each other, supporting each other, sharing their challenges and their wins, and just building that sense of camaraderie, which we know is really important for persevering through difficult behavioral changes and things of that nature. So we can check this box, and then we've got a few different options here. You can name it, you can choose the way that it appears, all of these different options that kind of come along with creating a group feed. We have some more information regarding the payments and then payment plans. So if this is something that you'd like to introduce into your program, this is where you're going to set this up. So this is under advanced options with the program setup. We can, we didn't have a fee. So let's just pretend this is $1,200. We can add a plan where we can set a deposit, allow the rest of the payments to happen in installments, and then we can choose how frequently those installments are coming out. Credit card information can be securely stored in the platform, meaning that as a practitioner, you're never privy to what that credit card information is. It's always encrypted and safe, but you can automate the payment so that you're not having to chase people if they do go onto that payment plan. So it makes it really seamless for you and allows you to offer, something that is maybe more accessible to more people. The other thing we have here is a booking page form. So Practice Better has a completely customizable form and waiver builder right within it, meaning that people can fill out your forms digitally, either on their computers, their tablets, their smartphones, and you can use those forms in a multitude of ways. It's one of my favorite features because it has so much potential. So that could be something like a program application form, or kind of like a baseline assessment of where they're starting before the program, so they can really get a feel of where people are starting, and you could deliver it again at the end so that you have this kind of tangible way for the client to see their progress. So many ways that you can do this. If you add a booking page form, this is a form that will be required for the client to fill out at the time of enrollment. So something to keep in mind. Okay. So that's kind of all the setup stuff. Lots of information there. Maybe it seems like a lot, but it's really not. There's just kind of those 2 tabs to go through. And the truth is that you could completely leave it as is, exactly the way it is when you first add that program into your account.
Yeah, I mean, folks, I would recommend that you add yourself as a client and see what it feels like as it's written, and then go in and make notes on where you want to customize things. I want a different welcome letter, whatever the case may be, but add yourself as a client, put yourself through it. And then, like just that way, hey, day one, I want to change this. You go in and you change it. And then as things get delivered, you can go in and note as a client and just make those changes as you go. I mean, everybody will have access to just the PDF of what all the lessons are and what all the messages are. That's included in PrimalPro. Poor Brittany was trying to copy paste that, and that wasn't working very well. She was trying to build this, but it's there. So there's a lot of different ways that you can, some of the stuff you're going to want to change in advance, you'll know it, but other stuff you can kind of see how it feels first.
Absolutely. So let's take a look at one of the modules. So the module is where you're housing the content that's going to be that lesson for your client. So how they're kind of taking action. So we'll look at the edit mode, and then we'll look at kind of the preview so you can see what the client sees on their end. When you're creating your modules, you'll see that you have kind of this framework already created for you. So, within the week 8 section, this is day 56. You can see the title. You do have the option of adding a description. We're going to unlock this at a scheduled date, so 55 days. So it's always kind of 1 day behind the day because the first module is released immediately. Again, you have the ability to send a welcome email when the module starts. So you can see here, we already have this templated for you. So it's deviating from that standard template that Practice Better offers. And this is something that you're getting specifically from PrimalPro. So this is the messaging that is going out, letting them know about a new module, and they'll have this directly to their email inbox. So super convenient. Most people nowadays have their email right on their phone. So they'll get that notification, letting them know to come and check out that new module. Okay.
Just one side note here. A lot of some of those emails, I think, will correspond with the quote unquote messages that we have written, because where Coach Catalyst, it's set as like an in-app message. This just functions differently, but those messages are still embedded in the program. They're just delivered a different way. They're delivered via email.
Yeah, absolutely. And I'll show you a way at the end that you can communicate even beyond these templates with your program participants, so that you have more ways up your sleeve of things you can implement. You can see here at the top, we have 6 different tabs, all pertaining to this particular module. So for day 56, these are all kind of in relation to them. I'll say right off the bat that modules can be as robust or simple as you want. So you'll see what we've created. So know that you can pare back, you can make them more in depth. You don't have to utilize all these different tabs. It's just if they're relevant and you feel like it's going to add value to that particular piece of content for that day. So you can see we're in the overview, we can head over to content. And this is a pretty good idea of how every day is going to appear in this 12-week program. So you'll have kind of the lesson portion and then the activity portion. So your client is going to be learning, and then they're going to have those action steps on what they should be implementing and putting into place. So that's kind of the main structure. Again, you have all of these different formatting tools. So ways to add images, ways to insert video. So if you actually want to, instead of having this text here, educate them by creating a video and making it feel really high touch point and personal, you can do that. You can add audio. So if you want to record audio trainings, you can absolutely do that. And then we've got, of course, remember your red fast action button. So ways that we can add additional text, things of that nature. So again, you've got it in a really good place where you can implement it exactly how it is, but you do have those customization options. Next tab that we'll look at is tasks. So this is a really good way for you to take all that information that you're sharing with the client and help them prioritize and focus on what the actual action step is. So you'll see that it oftentimes will kind of mirror what the activity says, and it'll build on tasks prior. So tasks that you're outlining for the client that you outlined on previous days. So we've got all these tasks. The clients will see this and they'll be able to actually physically check them off so that they can kind of proceed and complete the module. You'll also have forms and worksheets. So occasionally you'll see a data metrics form added into your program where the client can fill out the data metrics so that they can track and measure their progress. So that's on select days of the program. But if you wanted to add multiple forms to your program, you can. There's kind of no limitations as far as that goes. Protocols. So protocols is another section within Practice Better. And this is where you can get very hyper specific with things like supplements, with certain foods or ingredients, dietary recommendations, lifestyle recommendations. So it's another way of housing content and creating kind of an action plan for your client. Certainly not necessarily necessary to add, but it's an option for you there. This is a place where you can actually integrate with our online dispensaries like FullScript, Wellevate. We have others if you're in the UK, things of that sort. But if you are working with that, that's where you can kind of link that into programs. And then we have quizzes. So quizzes is kind of a fairly recent addition that Practice Better has added to our programs and courses feature. And it is exactly what it sounds like. It's a quiz that you can score and actually kind of see how the client did. So this could be something that you do more for like a fun piece of engagement, or actually to truly measure how they're learning and kind of taking that information away. So different ways that you can kind of create quizzes and add them into your program. So that's kind of the overview of the module as it looks to build it out. So again, just reiterating, I know I'm saying this a lot, but you have everything in a really good place where you can kind of plug it and run with it, but you also have a lot of options, whether it's with this program or with a future program, where you can kind of play around and see things from a different way of engaging with clients. I'm going to go back to day 56 here, so that you can see kind of what the client sees on their end as they're going through the program. So this is obviously a view from a computer, but know that your client can download the Practice Better app on their phone. So they'll have a mobile view of this as well. They can do it on their tablet as well. So lots of different ways that the client can engage with this content, where they're not necessarily having to like sit down at their computer. Feels like more formal these days, right? They can just like take it on the go on their phone. So super convenient. But they'll have an overview of all the different modules to the left. They'll have the content from that particular day down the middle, and then they'll see all of their tasks. You can see this little progress bar here. So the client will be able to check these off. And if there was any forms, quizzes, protocols, those would come down the right-hand side as well. So they'll have this kind of view of everything that they need to see running through this program. I'm just seeing a couple questions here.
There were some people that had Lita kind of, and O'Nelly, our own home resident expert and practice better, has been chiming in here too for you.
Yes, I know that name.
So let's see. Someone was asking if there was weekly check-in forms too. That was Amy. Jen said, yes, I also do follow-up forms for them and fill out before each session. And it says, and O'Nelly was saying that Practice Better has intake form templates there too, and that yes, that she could follow up forms. It says, and can people schedule through this app as well? Calls, video chats. We'll go through that, but the short answer is yes.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I mean, however you want to use forms, like truly the sky is the limit with that feature. Like you can use them like any of the examples or questions outlined that we just went over, but like community polls, you can use it for like journal prompts. There's so many ways that you can use them, and we do have quite a few templates. And we have a Facebook group where people crowd share and crowdsource a lot of these things too. So our Facebook group is called Practice Better Inner Circle. It's exclusive for our paid users, but it's a really great place where people will say like, do you have a weekly check-in form? What do you have on it? And they just kind of share and network with each other. So it's a really great community in that sense. I know O'Nelly, I think you're in there. So I definitely recognize your name. I'm seeing a few more questions in the Q&A that we can pause for as well. So I see that Brad is asking about data security of stored metrics, etc. Our platform is HIPAA compliant. So as far as patient confidentiality and security, you're in good hands with that. Everything is very secure in our platform. So as far as collecting data metrics, you can feel kind of rest assured in that sense. And then Julie is asking, can we use our own brand colors and logo? I'm assuming yes. So yes, if you're on the Plus plan, which is the account that I would recommend, just because it has the most features to make use of, like the Evergreen and self-paced programs, you can certainly add in your own brand colors and everything. So you would access that through the logo and branding under the gear icon. And then you can kind of go through, add your own logos. You can see here, add your brand colors, all of that. You can choose for like PDF layouts. So when people are making prints or PDFs of your everything, you can see all of this here. And that's just super nice because when you share your link, so the link that your clients will use to log into their client portal, let's just we'll go to this. Be able to see I have now my brand colors and my logo and everything. So you can share kind of your specific URL, and that way it will feel very cohesive and branded for your business in your practice.
Yeah, so some questions were also in here about the messaging. Somebody who is currently using PrimalPro but on a different platform was asking about that in-app text. And so there is messaging. You have that feature, and you also have something called broadcasts, I think, but it's like the difference is they're not these messages. There was no way for us to just auto populate messages to go out on a scheduled basis. Those are the ones through your platform are done more organically, right? Rather than scheduled.
Yeah, there is ways to schedule them through the broadcast, but it just depends on the way that you're formatting the program delivery. So if you were doing a fixed date where you knew certain milestone dates, it would be very easy to just pop in and schedule some communications to go kind of ongoing for that particular round of cohort. But if you were doing evergreen or self-paced where everyone's kind of at a different stage, it would be harder for you to achieve. So that's something to keep in mind when you're thinking about the program and the delivery format. So you can see here that I'm in our secure messaging center as well. So you can message with all of your individual clients. This is, again, secure. This will be something that they can access on their phone or their computer. Charlie's not very good at responding to me. These are all fake clients who don't like to respond. But I can send like short, simple messages that are like, hey, how's it going? How are you doing with X, Y, and Z? Or I can, send them coupon codes and thank them for participating in my program and kind of have a succession plan for them where I'm filtering them into the next step. So there's lots of ways that you can use this messaging feature. A lot of practitioners will use this kind of in between sessions with the clients where they can still have that coaching and that support and that access to them. You just have to make sure that you have boundaries if you do get those overzealous clients who want to blow you up every 2 minutes with more questions. So something to kind of be aware of. We also have the broadcast feature, and you can do this directly through a program that you're running. So this allows you to message a group of people all at once, but it very much still feels like a personalized message to the client. So it's not going to be, your typical group message like you get on your phone where everybody starts responding and then your phone's going crazy. It's not like that. The message is still going to go to the individual client. It will still feel like you messaged them one-on-one. When they respond, it will be, something that you get back, but nobody else can see. But it allows you to be very efficient, because you can imagine that if you get 50 people in your program, you don't want to have to be spending like 5 minutes for every single person sending a check-in message. So broadcasts allow you to message the group in an individual personalized way. So you can see an example here. This was an example that I sent out earlier in the month. I can see here that I sent this by direct chat. So you can see the example behind me there, or email if not activated. So you have options, direct chat or email or both, so that, you're ensuring that the client gets that message. Then I can come up with the actual message for my client. You can see I've used those placeholders so that it feels really personal. So this information is pulling from the client record again, so that it feels targeted and specific. All of that information is there. I can look at my delivery summary after it's sent, that kind of idea. So bear in mind, a lot of these people are fake, and that's why I'm saying not dispatched, because their emails aren't real. But yeah, you can very easily communicate with your program participants in a bunch of ways. So that secure messaging, I'll show you next how you can book actual video sessions. So something like we're on today, or broadcasts through forms, so many ways. And you don't have to do them all, right? Like you can pick a way that you want to communicate with your clients, whether that's more structured or more casual. So you've got lots of different options there.
We had, when we pre-populated all of this, we had it set up so that it could be used in any format. And so the normal quote unquote messages are set up to go out as emails. But if you're doing like a good example of where this broadcast messaging would be, where we'd be able to use this would be in a group program. Let's say you're running this as a group and everybody's starting at the same time, then you could take all those the emails that we wrote, copy paste that content out of there and do it as a broadcast message instead. And then it would come across with that kind of flow instead of an extra email. So there's a lot of flexibility built in here, folks, based on your audience, how many people are in it, the structure and the flow. So yeah, I think it's really cool. Yeah. And then we've got I think you see the questions in here. Molly Daniels is asking, can you explain the difference between evergreen and self-paced?
Absolutely. Yeah. So both of them allow for a client. One second. Both of them allow for a client to enroll at any point in time. So that's what they have in common. The difference between evergreen and self-paced is that evergreen, you're still kind of coming up with the staggered release of your content. So you could say, I want a new module to be delivered every day for the client. Whereas self-paced, the way that they're going to access that new content or that new module is by marking the previous module as complete. So they're completely going at their own pace. Whereas with evergreen, you get to kind of decide that pace for them. So hopefully that helps kind of distinguish the two. Yeah. Do the emails go out automatically daily? So if you'd like the emails to go out automatically, yes, they can. And I'll show you kind of exactly what that looks like. Let me just go back into our program here. So when we're looking at any of our daily modules, so we'll just click into any random one here, day 6. you'll see that I have this box here to check. So send a welcome email when the module starts. So I can check this, and that way, when this new module is released to the client, that email will automatically be sent and delivered to the client, and you can edit this template. So you can see here, again, we've got all of this already populated for you. So go through it, read it. If you want to change the language, you totally can, but if you don't want to, you don't have to. It's there for you. So yes, you'll just want to make sure, if you want those emails to go out daily with the program, that those boxes are checked for each and every day of your program. All right, I'm gonna, I know we've got more questions, but I'm just gonna continue on to show you a couple of different things as we go through here, and we'll do our best to get to more questions as well. I wanted to show you actually, once you've got that program added and customized or built to your liking in your account, we also have to be thinking about how you're going to share your program and get those registrants, get your clients enrolled in the program. And there's many different ways that can be achieved. Again, it's going to come down to your individual workflow. So one idea might resonate with you, another might not. But you'll notice here on the program overview page, I've got this share link button. So when I hit this button, you can see here that I can hit the registration link. So that's going to provide me with this link here. I can shorten it. So if I'm going somewhere like Twitter, where there's a limited character count, or somewhere where my Instagram bio, where there's a limited character count, that might come in really handy for you. And you can share this link anywhere. So again, email newsletter, social media, your business page on Facebook, your website, your social media bio or Instagram stories, wherever you're talking to your prospective clients, you can share this link. When your clients follow this, they'll see the registration page for this particular program. So, if you add a description and you add in more information, they'll see that on this page. If you have got your customized branding, same idea, they'll be able to go through next, add in their information, hit next, they'll go through the payment. So they'll be able to enter in their credit card securely, and then they'll have access to everything. So it's a pretty smooth process for your clients. And again, this is going to be great for the practitioner that wants to just kind of like market and put the word out there for their program. Some people like to have kind of that intermediary step where they're actually facilitating like a discovery call or like a application sort of thing for their client. So there's ways for you to do that too, where you can then, let's go back here. You can manually enroll clients into the program. So let's go find our one here. So you can see here that I can, when I go into manage, on the left-hand side here, there'll be enrollments, and I can register clients. So if you have a client and you're in a session with them and you're talking about this and describing kind of the benefits and figuring out whether it's a fit for the client, you'll be able to either select from your existing clients or add a new client in real time here. So really great that you're not kind of letting people mull over it and change their minds. You can add them right into the program here. So I did see a question that I typed the answer to, but somebody was asking, do these program participants count towards your total client list in Practice Better? And that is yes, they do. If you're on the Plus plan, the number of clients that you can have is unlimited, so it shouldn't be too much of a factor. But with some of our other lower tier plans, there's client limits as far as how many you can have. So that's something to kind of keep in mind.
So there's a couple, let's knock these out. Julie, Laura, does the final week of the program include any kind of pitch to work privately with the coach? So some of these, I use this with one-on-one clients all the time. I use this as my sort of educational delivery system with one-on-one clients all the time. So they're already working. So we don't have a pitch to work with your coach privately one-on-one, because many people are using this for that purpose already. But if you plan to use this predominantly for group programs and things like that, feel free to go ahead and add that in there. Jen is asking for those evergreen and self-paced, can it be sent to their email or do they need to have the app downloaded? I'm trying to figure out how to keep the client list condensed so they aren't there forever.
So Jen, as far as your total client count, you can archive clients once they're done with the program. So I think that should help you keep that list condensed. You can have an automation. So in Practice Better, we have this whole feature called automations that allow you to automate kind of day-to-day administrative tasks so that they're just kind of, it's just like a set it and forget it sort of thing. So once a client has done the program, you can set up an automation to have them unenrolled from the program. You can also have an automation that tags a client when they're done a program. So that way, you know who to archive if that's something that you'd like to do to keep that list condensed. But I guess what I would also say is sometimes there's regulatory bodies that require you to like keep records. So that's something to kind of be mindful of. When you archive a client, you'll still have access to all of that and you can export information as well. But what you could choose to do, and what I would probably do in your situation, is come up with a tag. So that way, you know, when I'm looking through this giant list of people, I don't necessarily want it to continue to grow and have to sift through a giant list, but you can use tags so that if you wanted to just see active clients, you're not having to sift through a giant list. So tags are fantastic for organizing your clients, and there's something that you can use with our automations feature where you can say, okay, this client enrolled for this program. I want to automatically assign them with a tag so I know exactly who's going through this program. I can filter through that tag and see all those clients. When the client is done with that program, I can remove that tag and add, you know, an archive tag. So there's different ways that you can really play around with the tags and organizing so that things don't become too cumbersome for you.
Someone was asking, are they checked or unchecked as a default? I think you're referring to the module emails. I believe they're all checked, and because it's if you've got somebody who's not using an app, you want them notified that they have another module. And then the other question, Brittany, that I'm going to need you to answer. So they'll get an email as well as a notification. So if they are using the app, do they get some sort of notification on their phone within the app that, hey, there's a module?
Yeah, absolutely. So there's two things that I want to kind of point out is the app is separate from the client portal. So in order to access the client, the program rather, the client will need to have a login to access the client portal. And that's where they're going to be able to see all the content, engage with you, pay their invoices, all of that, schedule all of it. So they'll need to come up with a login. They have a choice of downloading the Practice Better app onto their phone or computer, just from a convenience standpoint, if they want to be able to take things on the go. So those are kind of two separate different things. But the way that our messaging is set up is that through the program, the client will receive an email when the module starts. So that way, if they've not yet gone through that process of creating their login and going into the client portal, they'll still get that communication. When you're communicating through broadcasts, so this feature here, and this is maybe communicating like a thank you or a check-in or a bonus meal plan or whatever it looks like, whatever you're communicating, you have the option of sending this either as a message. So that's going to happen in app, so in their client portal, whether that's through the computer or their app, or as an email or both. And then you have those other options here. So ideally you want it to go as a direct chat, but if they've never logged into their client portal, they'll get an email too. So that way all your bases are covered to ensure that the client is getting that communication from you. So again, it's like there's so many different options and ways that you could use it, but you've got, you know, depending on how you want to structure things, lots of different options.
I'm muted. Brad is saying, is there any facility for a client to upload a video to a platform for movement video analysis?
Yeah, so all the clients will have, we'll look at Mary here. This is what's called a client record. So Laura touched on this earlier, but I do really recommend adding yourself as a demo client so you can see everything that they have access to on their end. So just use a secondary email that you have and create yourself as a client. But they do have a few different options here. So the documents section is a place where they can upload files and share them with you. They can also do that through the messenger. So kind of in a more casual way here, they'll be able to actually attach like a file. And then we have a feature called journals. So you can't do video necessarily in journals, but you can link things like your Apple Watch, Fitbit, log all the meals, log sleep information, log like bowel movements, log exercise. There's a free form function. So if you're really looking to data collect from your client, set targets for them, etc., the journals is a fantastic feature to delve more into. We don't have time today, unfortunately, to go super into depth with the journals feature, but it's a fantastic resources for coaches who are looking to have like a real keen sense of what's going on with a client. Which plan is the evergreen? You'd want to get onto the plus plan, Jen. That is one that you would want to get onto. All right, do we have, let me just look at my little list of everything.
Resources tab. Is there a resource? Wait, is there a resources tab where handouts and other files can be uploaded for client access? So basically, where do clients access handouts and things that you might be for like resources?
Yeah, so that's going to depend on whether you want that resource specific to that one client or if it's something that you want to share with the group. So if it's, you know, your entire program cohort, we'll take a look at where you can add things in there. So let's go into, I'm going to look at a different program actually, just because I know that I have PDF attachments. So let's look at this one here, Meal Prep Club. This is one that is a monthly membership. So I know that when I go in here and look at the content, you can see here that I've added PDFs, so supportive resources that the client will have access to as part of this particular program or module. You can see here, I've got a grocery list as well. So that's something if you wanted to do, like I said earlier, video embedding or audio trainings, you can add those directly into the module for the client. And what's nice about that is they won't have to navigate outside of Practice Better in order to actually access that content. So they can stay in app, in platform, and they're not having, you know, a bunch of tabs open and getting distracted and you know, forgetting where everything is. So let me show you just an example of what an embedded video looks like. This is a protocol. So not a program, but it kind of acts the same. So when we have an embedded video, you can see here, I've got the play button. This one is being hosted through YouTube. You could also do Vimeo. And then you can just have the client watch that right within their client portal. So I've customized like a thumbnail and everything, but you can do exactly the same. And it's as simple as just putting in the link for your video. So super, super easy to make that happen. If you had a resource that you wanted to share specifically with one client, so something that maybe you discussed in a one-on-one session that pertains to them, but not the group, you can do that through that same document section that I mentioned earlier. So this documents here. So this is a great place where clients and practitioners can share information back and forth. So the client can upload information, but I can also upload information for the client. So you can see here all of these different examples that I have shared over time with my example client, Mary Smith, that she can have access to. So again, you've got a couple different options with how you'd like to share bonuses with the clients. All right.
Someone else was asking if Erin's audios were pre-recorded in there, but I don't know. I can't remember if we did or not. I was going to go take a peek, but maybe you can tell. And yeah, look,
I don't have them currently.
Yeah, I mean, look, the audio files are really nice, I guess, but I think, I don't know, maybe people, if there's anyone already using PrimalPro, can chime in, but a lot of people have just taken them out. because I don't want some other coach's voice in your program. And the plan, I know, I mean, not that I don't love Erin's voice. She's got a wonderful voice, but I don't want somebody else's voice in my program. So I just took it out with the ultimate goal of adding my own voice, which I still have yet to do. But I don't believe we added the audio. Look, it's a 2-minute lesson, guys. I mean, if your clients can't read 2 minutes, we got other problems, but okay, that's why I was asking. Yeah, so in this particular version, the audio files aren't in there.
Yeah, absolutely. So the one other thing that I want to talk about before, I know we're kind of coming up to the hour, so just one last thing that I think is going to be really helpful for you and how you run your program with your clients is having this kind of coaching, this live session like we're doing today, where you're hopping on video and maybe you've got the whole group on call, whether it's one-on-one or with groups, we've got your options there. So there's a couple of different ways to do this. The first one that I'll share with you is that if you are adding in the PrimalPro program as a fixed date program, so a fixed date meaning you've got those calendar dates that you're working with, so I can kind of set those dates accordingly. Oops. And I can add this program. What's nice about a fixed date style is that I can schedule sessions right within that program. So that's something that is unique to the fixed date. It's just, based on where did that go? It's just based on, how you schedule sessions is kind of meeting calendar dates. So you can see here that I now have this option of sessions. So I can schedule sessions, and that way when my clients enroll into the program, they'll automatically see these dates that they can participate into virtually, in person if you wanted. I think most of us are virtual these days. And you can see here that I can conduct this with online video chat. You will need to integrate your Practice Better account with Zoom in order to make these group sessions happen. If you're just doing this one-on-one, then you could choose to do Practice Better's telehealth. Both are HIPAA compliant, or I guess Zoom can be HIPAA compliant. And then you can schedule these. You can set a recurrence. So if you wanted this to be like a weekly session with your clients, you can do that super easily where it just, there we go. I've got all my sessions. I can hit this button and I've just within, a matter of seconds, pretty much scheduled all of these sessions. That way, when the clients enroll, they can, be a part of these group coaching sessions. So that's something that is really nice about the fixed date, is scheduling directly within the program. That's not to say that Evergreen and Self-Paced don't allow you to have group sessions. I'm just going to do it in a little bit of a different way. So I'm going to go to my practice and services here, and I'm going to show you a feature that we have called packages. So packages are services that have been bundled together. So when we define services, we're talking about your program, so the PrimalPro, and then we have, anything additional that you want to add to that package. So that could be something like the group coaching sessions or even one-on-one sessions that you want to offer your client to have that kind of FaceTime with you. So we can show you here, we can add a package. We'll just name this for this example, PrimalPro group. And I'm going to just show you here at the bottom that we can add sessions to this package. So I can do something like the group program check-in. I'm going to say through that 12 weeks that there's going to be 12 sessions. I can limit the number that the client can book. So by doing it as the package, the client will actually have to kind of enroll into these sessions, which could be nice if you're doing it as like a live Q&A or like an office hours. You can make it optional or mandatory for the client, whatever you would like to do. You can allow the client to book the time of the purchase, or you can make it mandatory. So now I've added this group program check-in, and now I can add the actual program in here as well. So now these two things are bundled together. So if you are offering an evergreen or a self-paced program, my recommendation would be to have kind of that standing slot in your calendar for this group program check-in, package it together so that you can still have these really wonderful kind of community-based group sessions with your clients. So it's just going to kind of like elevate the experience and the value that they get out of that program from you.
Julia is asking, Laura, what's your recommendation for this program? Fixed date or evergreen, or is it fixed date best for groups versus one-on-one? I think that depends on how you want to run your business. With groups, I think it kind of has to be fixed date, or they're not going through it together. That's my thought in terms of whether you want to look. Some people from a marketing perspective like to keep everything at a fixed date. They just launch a new program every month, but people are still doing one-on-one coaching with it. So there's a couple ways. So fixed date, I think, would work best if you want to be able to kind of create a, hey, the next launch, it's perfect for groups, obviously. But if you just kind of want to be able to organize your calendar and be able to actually schedule time off for yourself, so you don't always have people in an evergreen program, you can do that. Evergreen's super convenient though, that way you don't have, like, you're having a discovery call and Brittany's talking about getting them in right away. If your next sort of launch is not until for 2 weeks, it gives them 2 weeks to change their mind, kind of thing, but so it depends on how you really want to organize your life and your business. But I think your kind of thought here, fixed date best for groups versus one-on-one, I would agree with that. I don't know, what are your thoughts, Brittany?
There's so many layers to it. So sometimes what I see is kind of 2 different offerings. So you can very easily duplicate a program in Practice Better, and you could have one fixed date that has that live coaching element that you could charge more for. And then you could have the pared back version as evergreen, where it's a little less hands-on for you as a practitioner. And the client maybe is having the perk of being able to enroll at any time, but they're not having like the group sessions or the group feed or things of that nature, where they're having that kind of camaraderie from the group and that level of support. So that's one thing to consider is, tiering the offer. If you want to have a higher price point, fixed date where you've got that group, that's a great idea. The other thing that I want to talk about too is when it comes to marketing and launching your program, think about the way that you're going to like drive urgency and get people to enroll. Oftentimes having that like hard launch date, so that like August 1st start date, is going to inspire people to take action and actually get enrolled, versus like, oh, I can sign up for that program at any time. So I'll come back to that later. So you can start to kind of think about how you operate in your business, how you plan to coach, what you want to charge for the program, how involved you want to be. And there's no necessarily like right or wrong way. You can easily duplicate and like split test it to see if one is resonating with clients and getting them the results that you want to see. Like you might run an evergreen and find that people are not getting the same type of results as your clients in a fixed date because the coaching is different. But you can kind of in time trial all these different ways. But I'll just show you here in Practice Better just how easy it is to duplicate. So once you have that code added to your account, if you want to have a fixed date and then you're doing this like quarterly, or you want to trial doing it evergreen, all you're going to do is hit duplicate, and it's going to allow you to kind of change up the format and the corresponding dates or information. So super easy for you to kind of reiterate or run a new cohort or things of that nature.
Yeah. Awesome. There was somebody else was asking if our 21-day program is in here yet. No, we just got this one done. But we do plan to bring the 21-day program as well. It just needs to be built in here. No one on our team knew how to build it. So we worked with Brittany and her team to get this in here. The 21-day program should be relatively soon. Don't hold me to a date yet. I don't have it, but the plan is to, yes, make the 21-day program available on Practice Better as well.
Yeah. And, in time, as you dip your toes in, if you ever choose to build your own program, we have so many features that make this as easy and as efficient as possible. So things like templates, things like, finding ways to not do repetitive tasks over and over again when you're building things out in the platform. They become really routine and a part of your workflow when using Practice Better. So you can see here, we've got like module templates. So one thing you'll notice with the 12-week program is that all the days are structured pretty similarly, right? So rather than coming up with that every single time, we can just work off of a template. And there's lots of opportunities to do that and practice better. So hopefully that leaves you feeling inspired and sees, I guess, the potential of all that you can do in practice better. We certainly didn't touch on all of it today, but quite a bit of it.
Awesome. Any last questions before my dog goes crazy and Brittany has to go and her house blows away with a tornado? Gosh, I hope everything's okay.
It looks like the storm has passed, so I think we're good.
Excellent. Oh my gosh, I have had my husband come home. I had kids run out the front door. My dog's been whining, but I've been on mute, so hopefully no one was the wiser. So in order to grab PrimalPro on Practice Better, email me, call me, pay for it, and then the code that you need will be available to you to go ahead and implement and upload as needed. Okay, so if you already have PrimalPro, just call me or email me. I think Erin Fox is updating the actual little course that you get with the information you need to be able to add it, but you got to open an account with Practice Better. Okay. So if you don't already have an account with Practice Better, that's the first step. Get your account open with Practice Better. At a bare minimum, in order to be able to add a program that's already been written, they need, what is it, the pro at the minimum? What's the minimum?
Yeah, that's right. The pro at the minimum is going to allow you to run a fixed day program. And then if you want the option of running evergreen or self-paced, that's when you're going to want to consider the plus plan. Plus comes with more perks beyond that, but that's kind of just, something to keep in mind with the formatting.
Yeah. So decide which platform that you want. For those of you who haven't purchased PrimalPro yet, you guys get it for $7.95 your first year. And then $4.95 after that annually, unless you've purchased the all access pass, in which case then you don't pay those ongoing licensing fees. Okay. So if you haven't purchased PrimalPro, purchase it. You'll get your little course that breaks everything down for you and explains how to get this uploaded into your platform of choice. I think a lot of you that are already using PrimalPro on Coach Catalyst see a clear difference in how these things are run. And so I think what we've got for you here is something, especially for those of you that are very concerned about HIPAA and having more available to you in one platform, so you don't have to have all these other things. I think you're going to find this streamlines your business pretty nicely. And Brittany shared a little coupon code.
I did. I shared a little coupon and a link there if you want to go check out Practice Better. Everything starts with a free trial. So you have a 14-day free trial. And in that free trial, you can start on a pro plan and go to a plus and hop around plans. So if you want to actually compare without having to pay for a month to kind of do that comparison, that 14-day free trial is when you're going to want to make use of that. And that 20% off coupon would come into effect if you choose to continue on from the free trial. So it's helpful in that sense. We have a ton of resources on our YouTube, on our blog, in our Facebook group, etc., to really support our community, because we do know that there is a learning curve with any new piece of technology. And like I said, we really just touched on such a small part of Practice Better today. So know that this is like the perfect place to run PrimalPro, but you've got a ton of other potential with it too. And we can come back for more training. Like if you want to learn beyond what we've talked about today, that's something that we do support with. So
yeah, the more people that are using PrimalPro on Practice Better will motivate Brittany and her team to come do more training for us. Hint, hint. And look, we all know Laura's not the technology person. Please do not call me and email me with how do I do this in Practice Better. I don't know. Maybe I do. I mean, I've learned a little bit now, but I'm by no means Brittany or an O'Nelly. We have O'Nelly here too, who has offered her services. And look, guys, if you really need a lot of help and you're going to be taking Nellie's time, pay her. Okay, pay her whatever her fee is, okay, to help you. Now, again, the bulk of the big stuff's done with this putting in here, but I'm sure O'Nelly would not be averse for charging you for an hour's worth of her time to really dial this in and make it amazing. But then, as always, the folks at Practice Better are great. Okay.
Yeah, and I'm going to drop a link for if there is anybody on today's call or watching the recording that is wanting to join Practice Better's Inner Circle. So it's an exclusive group for our paid members. I've dropped the link in the chat, but it's just called Practice Better Inner Circle on Facebook. You'll see Onelli there. I see her there sometimes chiming in and helping people. So it's a really great community of practitioners and users just kind of supporting each other, asking questions. We share lots of different resources and training materials, notice of all of our webinars and trainings that we do. Yes, Sybil is in there too. We're always just trying to build a really strong sense of community here and support you guys in how you're using the tool.
Love it. So do I have this right? Is the promo code for the 20%, is it PHI20?
That's correct. And I'm going to just put it in the chat one more time because I know there was more messages that kind of pushed it up. So it's there in the chat for everybody with a link if you want to click that. And then you have a little discount code to help you get started.
That's awesome. So if you need to sign up for Practice Better, you know where to go. If you need to sign up for PrimalPro, you know where to go. You can either just buy it online or email me, call me, whatever works. And we'll get you all set up. But I think we've got a really, really nice, slick 1-2 punch here with PrimalPro and Practice Better. So we are thrilled. Thank you very much, Brittany, for you and your team and all your hard work in getting this built out. We were all at a loss, like, I don't know how they could do this. So thank God. Thank God, Brittany stepped in to help us out, and we got it out, and 21-day program will be available soon. So any other question, my email is pretty simple. It's Laura@primalhealthcoach.com. Okay, primalhealthcoach.com, Laura@primalhealthcoach.com. You can email me and we'll get you going. All right. Oh, look, and Onelli, love it. See, she slid her website in there as well. So that's awesome. And thank you so much, Brittany. This was awesome. It answered a lot of my questions too. So that's fantastic.
Great. Well, thank you so much.
Does Practice Better plan to offer a branded app or a way to brand the current app? Like a
white labeling. You know what? We don't currently offer it, but we are always enhancing and adding new things to our software. So certainly not out of the question, although I don't have any kind of it's not currently being worked on, but it's
look, I think the whole white labeling thing and to have your own app white labeled in the App Store, I did it. I'm glad I did it, but it was a pain in the butt. Cost me money, a pain in the butt, and there's absolutely nothing at issue with just, this is the platform I use. The system I use to run my business is called Practice Better because it helps me practice better. And you'll be given, what is it? Does the app say Practice Better to the client, or what is the app, the client facing app say?
Yeah, so it's the same app. It's just the difference of the email that you log in will take you to your practitioner portal or your client portal. The kind of trick with that is that if you're a practitioner and a client, that same email won't work for both. Yeah. The platform will recognize your email as either a practitioner or a client. So it's just called Practice Better. You can get it from the App Store or the Google Play Store and download it. And it's really great.
Yeah. I mean, you can, Heather, you can add your colors to the when people are in the desktop version, you can have your own branded colors. That's correct? But you can't change the color of the app. That is what it is.
You'll see it in the app, but the actual icon will still be called Practice Better. But when you log in, you'll see the branded colors and the logo and all of that. The login page will even on the computer will feel branded. So it's just the actual app itself will still be called Practice Better.
Sybil, Julie's question is, can we duplicate PrimalPro for different target markets? So you can duplicate. I suggest when you upload it as it is and leave that as your baseline, and then duplicate it as many times as you need to, and then go into each version and customize it for a different target market. If you need to change the welcome email, if you need to reorder lessons, if you need to take things out, shorten it, lengthen it, and then name them whatever you're going to name them. But you can duplicate the program as many times as you need to, and then add whatever customization you need to for those target markets. I hope that answered your question. Go ahead, Brittany. It looks like you.
Yeah, one last question here, Sybil. I might have misspoken. You might not see brand colors on the actual app. It might just be desktop. I'm correcting myself there. So that is an important distinction when you're adding in your logo and your branding. That's something that you'll see on desktop, not necessarily through the Practice Better app. So just wanted to correct myself there, that you won't necessarily see that full branded experience through the app.
So Sybil's question is, does PrimalPro have a trial period option? 7 days. Okay, it's not like you get 30 days, guys. Once this material's in your hands, we can't claw it back. I have no way of clawing it back and knowing if people are out there using it and never having paid for it. I mean, 99.9, I'm sure 100% of all PhDs are on the level and would never do that, but there's always one guy, right? There's always one person that's like the bad apple. So it's got a 7-day period. If you just kind of want to see the client side, what I could probably do is enter you into the one that we uploaded into our account and enter you in as a client so that you could see the flow as we've developed it and see that client side as well. But there is a 7-day sort of free look period for PrimalPro. Boy, where were all these questions a half an hour ago? Let's see. Let me just make sure there's no more, but then we got to let Brittany go. And I'm starting to get a storm. Wow. I don't know if you guys can hear that. Let's see. I don't see that when I log in. Oh, okay. That was simple. Okay, I think we're good, guys. Any other questions related to PrimalPro? Email me, call me. Any questions about Practice Better, email or call Practice Better or O'Nelly. That's my advice. But I'm going to let you guys go. This has been awesome. Anything else you guys need? As you know, we're always here. We love you. We want successful coaches. We're working really hard back here, trying to just support you in your success. So let us know what else we can be doing. All right. Thanks, everybody. And Brittany, thanks again.
Yeah. Bye, everyone.
Bye, guys.